Looking at example 3 here, we want to sketch the angle of 315 degrees in standard position. So again, we have our Cartesian plane, x and y. 315 degrees puts it in the fourth quadrant down here. And if we were to take 360 minus 15 degrees, we're going to get a 45 degree as our related acute angle. So our 315 degrees is outside here, and our 45 degree angle is our related acute angle. Now, if we build our right angle triangle out of that, I'm just going to extend that a little bit. There we go. Right angle triangle gets built with our x-axis. Opposite to the 45 degrees, we would have a 1, but because we've headed downwards, that's a -1. And this would be +1. This side would be square root of 2. The hypotenuse is always positive. So if you, I'm going to run through those, how we know it's +1 and a -1. If I start at the vertex here, at the origin, to get to the point here on the terminal arm, I would have to go to the right 1, so that's +1, and then down 1, so that's a -1. So that's where I come up with those sides. State the exact values of the 3 primary trig ratios for this particular 315 degree angle. So the sine of 315 degrees would be opposite, so I look at that related acute angle, opposite to it is -1 over the hypotenuse, which is root 2. The cosine of angle 315 degrees would be adjacent, which is +1 over the hypotenuse, which is root 2, and then the tangent of 315 degrees will equal opposite, which is -1 over adjacent, which is 1, which is just -1 overall. All right, try the next one. We've got a scenario here with a pine tree. It's 10 meters tall. It's been damaged in a windstorm such that it leans sideways to make an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. Find an exact expression for the length of the shadow of the tree when the sun is directly overhead. So try creating a picture for that, a diagram, and then play the video again after you've tried that just to see how you did. Okay, so I've got a picture of my ground here. My pine tree, I tried to give it little pine branches there. It's leaning on an angle of 60 degrees to the ground, and it's 10 meters long. So I'm going to put my 10 along here. So that length of my tree is my 10 meters. And if the sun is directly overhead, it means that the rays are coming down, and the length of the shadow would be equivalent to the length from here to here. All right, so we need that. Now, I know that this is a 60, 30, 90 degree triangle. That means my side lengths, 30 is up here. Opposite to that would be 1. Hypotenuse is 2, and this would be square root 3. I know that if I multiplied 2 by 5, that would equal the 10. That means I have to also multiply this side by 5 and this side by 5 to keep them in that same ratio of 1 to square root 3. So that means the length of my shadow is 5 meters long. And that's all there is to it. So the shadow has a length of 5 meters. All right, taking a look at the next example, here, we've got a sailboat that's 12 kilometers north of a lighthouse. So we can think Cartesian plane, or we can actually think compass rose here. So north is usually directly up on a map, so this would head north. East would be over here, south downwards, and west is to the left. The sailboat is directly north, 12 kilometers north of the lighthouse. So I'm going to put the lighthouse at the origin of my Cartesian plane. So there's my lighthouse, and the sailboat is up here somewhere, and this distance is 12 kilometers, the distance between those 2 points. I also have a motor cruiser 12 kilometers east of that same lighthouse. So I'm going to put C for cruiser here, motor cruiser there. That means that I've got equal lengths here happening. 12 kilometers one way, 12 kilometers another way. Determine an exact expression, for the distance between those 2 boats. So I'm looking for the exact length of the line joining the S and the C there. Now this is a right angle. North meets east at a 90 degree angle. That makes this a hypotenuse. And since this side equals this side, it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which has side lengths in the ratio of 1 to 1 to square root 2. So I would really be multiplying that 1 by 12 to make it equal to 12 kilometers, and this gets multiplied by 12 to make it equal to 12 kilometers, which means the root 2 also has to get multiplied by 12. So the exact expression for the distance between the two boats would be 12 times the square root of 2. So the exact distance between the boats is 12 times the square root of 2 kilometers.